Welcome to another edition of a 15-minute perspective of powerful and purposeful living strategies. I'm your host, Karen Jackson. Today we have a wonderful guest with us. We have Miss Juanita Michelle, who is the owner of Third Perk Coffee House and Wine Bar, and she's also the assistant professor.
Yes.
At Sinclair Community College, and she's also a co-author of the book The Wait, 300 Days to an Overnight Success. So we thank you so much for coming in to talk with us today.
Thank you for having me, Karen.
So we have so many wonderful things to talk about today. We have so many accomplished guests that come in, and I'd like to ask, what are 5 principles that you help guide your life and help you feel successful and help you fulfill your purpose?
Well, I like to, one major thing that I do is I pray. I am led by prayer. I don't move unless I pray. So I am a praying woman. I like to plan. Planning is very essential to me in everything that I do. I believe that when we don't plan, we plan to fail. I also like to give myself a space where I can think and where I could just hear, listen, and be guided by my spirit, by my intuition, some may call it. I like to surround myself with people who are supportive, people who are there to be an active force in what I'm doing. Supporters, but also not just cheerleaders, but people who are also willing to give me information, even if it doesn't support what I want to do. And I also like to be resourceful. I like to use my resources, local resources, wisely as I am setting forth to do whatever it is that I am trying to achieve.
Now let me ask you, one of the things you mentioned was you like to surround yourself a good circle.
Yes.
Tell me, how would you recommend others to kind of figure out how they go about doing that?
Well, it's something that you kind of grow up with. I am very fortunate to have friends that I've had for decades, and they are a wonderful group of friends. And like I said, they don't just cheer me on. They give me information that I need, even if it's not what I want to hear. So my friend circle has changed over the years. So everyone who I may have started off with, we may not be as close today as we were. Love is still there, but as you are maneuvering through life, sometimes you find that the more you relate yourself, or the more you join yourself with people who have a like mind towards the things that you are trying to achieve, the more successful you're going to be, because you guys are moving in the same direction. Your conversations are supporting one another, and you're able to feed off of that momentum. Unfortunately, sometimes as we are going along our way, we come across people who may be battery drainers. They may not be people who are going to encourage you to move forward. Misery loves company, and when you find yourself surrounded in a circle that is not as supportive, who are not helping you move along your way, they may be impeding your journey. You have decisions to make, and sometimes when we grow, we just like a snake, you outgrow that skin and you have to shed it. So sometimes we have to do that with our friends.
And so
it doesn't sound good.
Yes, it doesn't.
It doesn't sound good. But it's a harsh reality. And like I said, it's not a lack of love. But, I am so blessed today because I have so many wonderful women who I could lean on and who I can call. And it is very, it's refreshing. It is refreshing to have conversations, and we're building each other up, and we are supporting each other, and they are pouring into me, and it is a wonderful thing. And I'm not saying that that's not what I grew up with, because one of my very best friends, her name is Tiffany Bozeman. She's been a friend of mine, a very best friend of mine, since we were in the 9th grade. So we have longevity. My children call her first. If there's something wrong, they call Aunt Tiffany. So I'm not saying that I've not always had a strong set of friends, because I have had an amazing group of friends. I'm just saying that as we grow, that circle gets larger. and sometimes smaller, and it just kind of shrinks in and out as you're growing.
And I kind of agree with you, because I think that, as you develop and achieve certain levels of success, it's not necessarily, like you said, it's not that you don't have love for some of those same people. Sometimes it's geographical. Limitations where, even you've been friends with someone, but they just don't live in your area. So it's not like you don't have love for that person. It's just that, for one, you're in a total different geographical area. And then sometimes, you build and grow from other people in your work environments and other areas that you are able to excel in, and then you start to develop relationships with those people. And it's not that you are like you said, it's not like you're saying I don't have love for some of those other people. It's just because you guys are achieving and working on some of the same things and some of the same projects, that you just tend to be around those people.
Absolutely.
So I think that's important too, as you maneuver through your life's journey, is that you continue to develop new relationships.
Absolutely.
And continue to develop new friendships, because I think that's important to continue to learn the new things that you need to learn so that you can continue on the journey that God has for you.
Right.
So I wanted to also ask you, you are doing a lot. You're a professor. You are the owner of the coffee house. Tell us a little bit about what people can expect when they come to Third Perk.
Third Perk Coffee House and Wine Bar. We're at 46 West 5th Street in beautiful downtown Dayton. When you walk into Third Perk, I like for you to first just have a wonderful visual image of a coffee house that I like to call a sophisticated space, a space where you are wanted and appreciated. So my customers, I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel like their presence is wanted. And then I want them to have a good experience as far as enjoying a premium cup of coffee, or if they're enjoying lunch, to have their lunch served to them fresh and in a timely fashion. Those are things that are important to me. I want them to, after they visited, maybe once or twice, on that third visit, it's nice to know that they come in and, we're calling them by their name, because, we like to build a relationship with our customers so that they understand that they're appreciated. It's the small things you do as a small business that makes the difference. There's so many things that we can't compete with, like an industry giant like Starbucks. I don't have the promotional resources, the marketing resources, the advertising budget. I don't have those things. So I have to make my customers know that they're appreciated by me knowing what drinks they like, offering specials that are going to tickle their fancies a little bit. So just being in tune, understanding that maybe they had an interview, and talking to them about the outcome, or talking to them about their business dreams and aspirations. A lot of people will come and ask me about my own personal journey, and I'm always willing to share that information with someone, because sometimes they're inspired to move, or maybe sometimes they understand that entrepreneurship is not for them. Entrepreneurship, it looks fun, but it's hard work. It's more than just being the boss, because a lot of times as an entrepreneur, you are everything. And you have to wear all the hats. And you need to have more than one head if you're going to wear a lot of hats. So it's not an easy job.
Okay, so tell me, as we've been talking about success and your journey, have you always dreamed of being an owner? And was it always a coffee house, wine bar, or something that was always on your to-do list?
I can honestly say that since I was very young, I've always had visions of being a business owner. I remember having thoughts of having a publication. This was a long time ago. I think my sons were maybe 2 or 3 at the time, and they're 27. Wow. So just putting plans in place to start this business. And I went from really looking at that business to really wanting to be in the retail industry and First I considered retail for children, but I eventually did open a women's retail boutique. And that's where I understood the value of planning a business and how you can avoid pitfalls when you're doing things properly. That business did not survive. It died within 6 months. And that's why at Third Perk Coffee House and Wine Bar, we celebrate every 6 months in business, because I understand how monumental those 6 months are, because, a lot of businesses don't survive. I didn't survive the first time, but I learned lessons that I poured into Third Perk, and I was serious about business planning when I went into business at Third Perk.
Okay, so you talked about, I once heard someone say that most entrepreneurs usually have at least 3 to 6 businesses that they start maybe or launch, but maybe are not as successful. So what would be some strategies that, or what would you say are your top 3 tips that you would give someone who was interested in starting a business?
I would suggest that they use local resources. I have used the Small Business Development Center at the Entrepreneur Center on Monument. I've also made visits to the City of Dayton's HRC, the Human Relations Council. I've worked with a SCORE mentor. So I was very diligent about digging into those local resources, because a lot of times those resources are free of charge, or they're at a sliding fee or a low cost, because cities want to have entrepreneurs and want to see those small businesses emerge. So there's a lot of resources. So I had a consultant that I worked with through the Entrepreneur Center who reviewed my business plan, who helped me refine my business plan, and I did the hard work. So unlike my first business that lasted 6 months, I did the work with Third Perk. I went to coffee trade shows. Local resources is number one, but whatever industry that you are planning on going into, you can seek some type of show, a trade show, some type of conference that will give you more information about the industry that you're pursuing. I don't care if you're event planning, if you want to be a bridal consultant, there are conferences for every industry. So I went to Coffee Fest in 2013, and that's where I learned that my proposed budget of $50,000 was far from what I needed in order to open up an actual coffee house. So I knew that in enough time for me to say, okay, I don't want to make that investment, or I want to move forward quickly. I want to move forward, giving myself this amount of time or that amount of time. I was able to do what is most key. The third item is plan. Creating the plan, but doing the homework so that your plan makes sense. When you are creating your business plan, it is not to be used as a book weight or a paperweight. Your business plan should truly be a journey. It should take you on a journey that you're planning on going on. Your business plan should tell you what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and who you're going to do it with. Your business plan should be a template that anyone could pick up and run your business for you. My business plan, when I refer back to my business plan, I can see things that I've done, and I've seen them in the order that I was supposed to do them in. And I want to share with you some exciting news. I just received an email on January 31st from Syracuse University. My business plan was chosen as a semifinalist in a small business challenge. It is a veteran-based small business challenge. And after submitting a pitch video, a 90-second pitch video, similar to what we do at the Percolator, I was selected as a finalist, and I will be going to Austin, Texas on February 15th, and I will be competing on the 18th to win capital for my business. So
congratulations.
I am so excited about it because it is a national competition. So the business plan that I created was selected. I know last year in 2017 there was over 200 people who submitted for the contest. I'm not exactly sure how many people submitted this year, but I was chosen out of a group of 20, and now we're a group of 10 competing for a pot of cash that is $75,000, and there's about about 5 different prizes that we'll be able to walk away from. And this isn't like cash towards this or cash towards that. It is capital that we get to pour into our business.
So unrestricted capital.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. That is wonderful news. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And I know that working capital is very important for small businesses. As a matter of fact, some of the latest research suggests that that's one of the top reasons that small businesses fail, because, like you said, they didn't plan to really understand or know how much working capital they need in order to not just start the business, but continue to sustain it.
Right.
So I think that's wonderful.
Yes, it is.